So there's kind of a mystery, right, as to why in legal contexts we typically distinguish so carefully between the merely statistical evidence and the direct or testimonial evidence in cases where they both give us grounds for having just the same kind of confidence that, say, the red cab company did it. So here's a question. If you wanted to justify our practice, to explain why we should be prosecuting the red cab company in the second case, but not in the first case, do you have a hypothesis?
The statistical evidence has nothing to do with the specific case where the testimony does. If you had like 1,000 pedestrians get hit by cabs, you'd want to say it was the red cab every time based on the statistics, where odds are they would eventually have been hit by some blue cabs. But if you have an eyewitness each time, it's 99% of a chance that it's correct for that specific case.
Yeah, absolutely. So that seems to be getting really to the heart of the matter. And it's all about sensitivity, right? So we assume that on the basis of the merely statistical evidence, I'm going to be very confident that a red cab did it. I'm also going to think that if the blue cab had done it, I would still be very confident the red cab had done it, right? So I'm going to think that my confidence is not sensitive to the truth, right? Because if the blue cab had actually done it, I would still be just as confident that the red cab had done it. Whereas in the testimonial case, I'm going to think, I'm almost certain that a red cab did it, and I'm also almost certain that if a blue cab had done it, then I would be believing a blue cab did it. So in the case where I have direct evidence, I believe that my epistemic state, my mental attitudes, my beliefs, are sensitive to the truth. Whereas in the case where I have the merely statistical evidence, I believe that my beliefs are not sensitive to the truth. And we care about that tremendously in legal context. We want to base prosecution on beliefs that are sensitive to the truth. Now, of course, there's an interesting question of why we care about that. Why is that so important? And this is kind of, in legal theory, this is something that people devote some effort to trying to sort of think about. You know, one sort of hypothesis as to why this is that, you know, we want to set up the right incentives for people to obey the law. If we went around prosecuting on the basis of merely statistical evidence, then the wrong incentives would be in place. So, for example, the blue cab company could think, we could just go around mowing people down as we like. The red cab company will be to blame, right? So, and the red cab company could think, well, this is just deeply unfair. I mean, actually, maybe the red cab company would have good incentives, because they'd be trying to stop the blue cab company from mowing people down too. But anyway, the whole system would seem very egregiously unfair, right, to everybody. And the incentive structure would be weird. So in virtue of the fact that we want to set up the right incentive structure, we demand that legally actionable beliefs be sensitive to the truth.